Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard. I'm here with McCabe, Deontez, and Michael Boxley, and we're here to talk about the MLB, the NBA, and the NFL. So today, the All-Star game going on in a few minutes as we got a little delayed with our head start. But we watched the Home Run Derby last night. NFL training camp is coming up, and the NBA Summer League is in full swing. So, first off, we're going to start off with the MLB Home Run Derby that happened last night. Vladdy Jr. was the champion. He knocked off Randy Arozarena. A lot of cool storylines happened with that one. Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena, both teammates, grew up with each other through the minor leagues. Along with Luis Robert and Zach Gallen, shows you how far the Cardinals have fallen. Those four players all in the All-Star game, and all were in their system during the start of their careers. So we'll get into that first topic. What are your guys' thoughts on the All-Star game, and what are you thinking of what we're going to see?
I think, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the MLB All-Star game. I know like the NBA All-Star game is super nonchalant. It's not very intense. I'm not sure. Uh, I don't tune in much to MLB period, so I'm not too sure of how serious they take that. But I think I'm gonna tune in tonight, probably to the end of it, see where the game is. If it's a good game, I'll probably tune in, see where it goes from there. But I'm not too familiar with MLB myself. So
Honestly, I think NL smokes them this year. I know, like at least the last five the AL have won, and basically have just been kind of rolling them. But I think now that you got like Trout, he's not playing, Judge not playing. The only guy, the only guy really like Shohei. And then honestly, I think the Texans are just. I think they just had a good first half, and I really don't think they're going to be too much of a threat. I mean, and then if you look at the NL roster, like they got the Braves, who are basically just like a juggernaut this year, and then they got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Luis Reyes. Like, I just think it's too much firepower.
So, first half, a lot of different storylines occurred for the MLB. Ellie De La Cruz played his first 30 games of his career electric, 16 stolen bases, and he's hitting 325 on the year. Some great numbers from him. And then the AL East is dominating the league. They have five teams with 48 wins. The only conference that's even close is three teams. That's the NL West with the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants. Then we go to the Braves, and I wanted to pose a question to you guys. They are right now 60 and 29. They need to go
damn.
56 and 17 on the rest of the season to tie the best record ever in the MLB. Do y'all think they can do it?
I
Mm.
think I think I think if they stay healthy, I mean they've proven to stay healthy throughout the season so far. And if Acuna keeps hitting, keeps raking, and everyone's just having good hitting spurts, their pitching is gonna pick it up for them if they go in like any slugging slumps. I feel like, but I think they can break the record, honestly. Who set the record?
The
I'm pretty sure
Miami
it's the Dodgers.
Marlins. The Marlins
Oh, the
set the
Mar-
record with the 162 game season, 116 and 46.
I'm not sure. 57 and 17. I
That's
mean, they're doing great, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with baseball, but to me, just off the top of my head, that sounds pretty hard to sustain.
It was
57 and
in
17.
Yeah, it was in 2001. So none of us were,
weren't
well, I wasn't born at that point, but
No, none of us
weren't the
was.
Dodgers super good one year?
yeah, the Dodgers were super good. The Cubs have the best record, like technically. So,
Yeah, the Dodgers had 111 wins in 2022, so
yeah,
last year.
yes, sir. And then one thing we didn't get to about that home run derby, y'all saw J-Rod set the record for
I
most
did.
home runs in a single round. He had 41, one more than Vladdy hit in 2019, but still an insane amount, and in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty insane. I actually turned that on. Me and Mike were together. We turned it on like halfway
crazy.
through it. Like
Crazy.
he was like a minute and 30 into the 3 minutes. He was already like 25 or some crazy, and we're like, he's going for it all. But I'm not really surprised. I mean, he was the hometown. He was in his hometown for the All Star game, so he had to put on the show. He had to put on for the
To
hometown.
win it. He's
Yeah, I definitely didn't think Vladdy was gonna win. Crazy story. Me and Mike, we did bet on the home run derby. We're live betting it. We bet it on Vladdy, and he did get what we needed, but he started very slow and he looked very tired. So we were debating on betting him under for the next round. Good thing we didn't do that.
that boy was raking.
No, I think the craziest thing. I think Adley Rushman, what he did in that first round when he switched hit when he was hitting lefty, hit like 21 lefty, and then the last 30 seconds, like with his bonus time, he hit righty and hit 6 homers out of like or he hit 7 homers out of like the 8 pitches he got.
Dude, he's gonna be good. With the Orioles, like the Orioles have a very bright future. Like no cap, like bro, they're so good. Like on paper, they're just pitching. They're bad at pitching. I think they should trade for a pitcher at the deadline. And I think
Yeah.
like a serious contender.
Next storyline is the San Diego Padres, 43 and 47 right now, 4 games below 500. They spent millions of dollars on free agency on Xander Bogaerts, on Michael Wacha, and on Juan Soto, and they're not getting the return they were looking for. They're looking for a championship last year. That didn't happen, and it's not looking great for them this year, sitting fourth in their division. What do you guys think they got to do to turn it around in the second half?
Me personally, if y'all don't know, the Padres is my favorite baseball team. I don't tune in much because I don't care for baseball that much, but when I do, I usually watch them. It's definitely disappointing for sure, without a doubt. It gives you kind of like a Brooklyn Nets vibe with the KD, Kyrie, Harden thing, with like the super team thing. And I don't know. I don't know much about baseball. I don't know if super teams usually get it done or they don't. But from what I'm seeing and how much money they did spend these past couple years on these players, is obviously disappointing.
Yeah, and then we'll get into favorite players from the first half of the season. So mine's a little different than y'all's. Mine's Jarren Duran. Not much to talk about there. Second-year player in the MLB from the Red Sox. Plays center field. Last year, underwhelming performance, and then came on great. Played a great start of the season, and all the way up until this point, he's leading the team in steals. Is hitting around 300 plus, and just a bright star for the Red Sox. So Fernando Tatis suspended for the first part of the season after the PED suspension, had a great start to the year in the minors, and then worked his way all the way back up to the majors, and he's been killing baseballs all season. What did you think about that, D?
Well, first thing I'm gonna say, because you did say worked his way back to the majors. Obviously, we know why he was placed in the minors, because probably a little discipline and had to get him back into the groove of things before throwing him back out there in the fire. Second of all, I think once he got back to the majors and once he got rolling again and got his legs back under him, I think he picked it up. I mean, he does what he does, makes big plays, cannot make the little plays sometimes. Part of the reason I think his position was changed to outfield from shortstop, whatever the case may be. And a part of that is because of injuries too, obviously. He was getting injured a lot in the infield, but I think he'll be fine. I think second half of the season, I think the Padres as a team would get it going again. Like I said, they have so much talent. I'm not sure what's making them underachieve, but I think once they get things going again, get back into the swing of it, they'll be fine. As far as their division, I think they're in a pretty tough division. I'm pretty sure it's like with the Dodgers and all those other good teams who are playing to their potential. So I think once they pick it up and play to their potential, they'll be just as competitive as everyone else in their division.
Yeah, they're not like a team like the New York Mets, who are throwing like the most amount of money in payroll on the
Right.
season, and their team's pretty much dead in the water with just
Yeah,
half the season to go. They did go on a 6-game win streak get themselves to the All-Star break, but they struggled for most of that first half of the season. And the main reason I say for Tatis that he moved to the outfield was because they signed that 11-year deal with Xander Bogaerts. You're not gonna move Bogarts from short to another position when
Right. When
been
he
the
is
he's won championships with the Red Sox multiple, and he's played shortstop his whole life. So I think that was their idea going into it. Let's move him to the outfield. He can make plays. Obviously, the injuries are a problem as well, and so doing that, being a corner outfielder is definitely easier on your body as a 162 game season goes along. But then we're going to another corner outfielder, or at least an outfielder in general, in Ronald Acuna, one of the best players in baseball. He's been overshined a little bit by Shohei Ohtani, who just does everything, but Acuna's right up there with him for the best in the league. And McCabe, that was your favorite
Yeah.
guy in the first half.
I think it's just what he's doing this year is just you really can't. Like I think he's getting outshined by Otani and then a little bit De La Cruz like these last 30 days, but like the way he's been hitting the ball, like he's hitting like he's top 5 in stolen bases, batting average, like almost like hits, like all these crazy stats, like 21 homers, like he's a leadoff guy. Like he's got second most stolen bases, like 330 average is insane. Like if he gets anything over 325, like I think it should be like a unanimous MVP because he's gonna keep getting those stolen bases. You just can't.
Oh, Cunha.
Yeah, like he's and then if he's already has 21 homers, like if he gets 40 homers, like come on now. I don't
He's
think that's ever been done by a leadoff hitter. I don't know, but
You think
I
he
think what
deserves
he's
it?
doing is
Do you think
not.
there's a
like
chance he gets it over Otani?
No.
I mean
Yes.
they'll both
If they
will be, I
if
think
they if they take the record, if they take the record, he's for sure MVP, like 100% MVP. If
yeah,
they
they
break the
both they'll
record,
both be able to get it because Otani's in
Yeah,
the
they're
AL.
in two different division. They're two
is he?
different, not division
Oh, okay.
conferences. So,
Oh,
but
so do they do MVP for both?
yeah, so
Uh-huh.
there's one for each. And but the major thing is like
That's weird.
he's getting outshined by his own player on his own team, Matt Olson, 29 home runs, 72 RBIs, and has been one of
Yeah.
the surprises of the season. They lost Freddie Freeman. He went to LA and joined that super team as we were talking about earlier with super teams. But LA's got a lot of those, and the Atlanta Braves just reloaded with a great player in Matt Olson. And then we got to get to one of the shining stars and one of the more unexpected shining stars we've seen in a while. Corbin Carroll has turned this Arizona Diamondbacks team into a possible contender this season. They're they're in a tough division just like the Padres, the same one actually, and they're fighting for the top spot with the Dodgers right now, just a game or half a game back at the All-Star break. And Mike, you had some stuff to say about him.
yeah, Corbin Carroll probably going to bring him back to the playoffs for the first time in over 6 years, and he's just a rookie himself. They've loaded up with good hitters, good fielding, just top. Like he had a great season. I think he's an All Star as well too. Making his first All Star appearance. With 63 runs, 89 hits, 48 RBIs. He's batting at 289 as a rookie. Like that's really good on a team that is coming back into the playoffs after just a historically good team. I go to school in Arizona. When the Diamondbacks do well, then everyone's feeling good. So I definitely feel like this. He's definitely my favorite player so far, and I think he's going to be able to carry them in October. Hopefully, we might see them in October.
Padres.
Yeah, and they added as well Lourdes Gurriel from the L East. He came from the Blue Jays, and he's also an All-Star as well with his teammates. And he has 15 homers on the season, having a solid year once again. He was a good outfielder in Toronto, and he's doing that again in Arizona. And we'll move on to who we think who's our favorite and who's our dark horse to win the MLB championship this year. My team I'm going to go with is Atlanta Braves are who I'm choosing to win it all. I just think it's their time. They have 3 players with over 20 home runs already this season. And my dark horse would be my Red Sox because I'm a homer and I want them to win.
Trash, trash,
I
trash.
think, yeah, I think the everyone's safe pick would be the Braves, obviously, which I'm gonna take because they're probably the favorite. That's a safe pick. My dark horse would for sure.
Don't you say the Padres?
Dark horse for sure. The Padres.
Padres, you
For
trolling?
sure. 4
Troll-
games. Listen, 4 games under 500. Halfway through the season.
Game.
Halfway through the season, all that talent, they get the
You know how much they paying them? They should be at the top of the division, bro. You think
I agree.
I don't think they pick it up.
I agree. I
Do the
agree.
same-
And they know what division they're in, which is a tough one. So that's probably part of the reason they went out and splurged like that and got those players. I think they're just underperforming right now. I mean, getting a groove. I mean, you have one of the best players coming from the minors because of suspension. Another best player just got there a year ago, and Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts. Like it's a new team. It's not like all these players were drafted together and like they came up together and they're supposed to be like. I mean, they should be good for sure, but I think they'll pick it up.
Say a year of that, like, and they just renew contracts, got new people in. Like I say, this year is the year they stink, and the next year they're going to be the team where like they have something to prove type thing,
Yeah, that could be the case too. I see that. I can see that happening. But
And
Mike, who you got for yours?
I'm not gonna obviously I'm not gonna like state the obvious again the Braves, but my dark horse I got the Orioles. I got the Orioles, man. There's something about them. I'm messing with them. I think that
Nah.
I
I
think
don't think you can call the third best team in baseball a dark horse. Just to throw that. They have the third best record in the MLB right
they're
now.
best record, but who's expecting them to do anything? That's the thing.
Well, I know, but they have been probably a top three best team in the league
Yeah,
so
Mike,
far.
that's not a dark horse.
They're
I feel like that. I feel like it is because
the only reason they aren't in the top three
the
seed is
Orioles,
because the Tampa Bay Rays are in their division, and that's the second best team in baseball.
like those are proven teams though. Like the
Yeah,
Orioles are like they're a young team, young team, good hitters. They're like and like the league is like put on notice now after the first half of the season. They're like, oh yeah, these kids are like legit, but they know where they can attack them at, which is their pitching because their bullpen's trash.
No,
And
okay.
what McCabe?
Bro, no, Mike, you can't call them a dark horse. Like it's just like like that was not the question.
That was not the question.
That was not the question. They're they're the second best team in the league, like in their division or their league conference.
I don't know. I feel like baseball is like a much tighter like conversation. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's just like than like another like a lot of sports.
All right, well, for my dark horse, I think I'm gonna go with Seattle. Just a game over 500. I think their pitching is insane. Like they have crazy pitching. I mean, and they got their hitting's obviously just been so poor, but I think honestly they'll just be able to pick it up. And I mean, they ended their right before the All-Star break. They played the Astros and won that series. Got the bats rolling. So I just think honestly, like with their pitching I mean, they got Julio Rodriguez, they got Suarez, J.P. Crawford. They got some dudes that can swing the bat.
Josh Chisholm.
And their pitching, I think, is just honestly like if they played like the Reds in a series, they're beating them honestly just because of how well their pitching is. And yeah, like they got
Reds are hitting though.
yeah, you gotta.
Logan Gilbert,
That's
Kirby.
another thing, bro. We gotta talk about the Reds. Like that one team you didn't see coming was the Cincinnati Reds. Like insane start to the year. They were leading the division for like the last month or so. Like that's an incredible turnaround from a team that
Yeah,
was
that is
getting like
crazy.
5,000 to 15,000 fans a game. They're selling out their stadium when they play the Braves and they win two games. It's like that's a great job. But just that organization, the coaching staff, and then you got stars like Ellie De La Cruz, and then supplemental help from TJ Frito and Jake Fraley. So just some great first halves of the season for a lot of those players. And Jonathan India is doing well as well. But we're gonna switch gears here. We got the NBA Summer League going on. Two games are going on right now. The Bucks are playing the Brooklyn Nets, and the Houston Rockets beating the OKC Thunder by 18 right now. But we'll get into more on that, and we'll get into everybody's favorite player, Victor Wembanyama. Debuted in his summer league just a few days ago. 9 points, 2 for 13 shooting, rough night. 15%, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. But then, wow, everybody's down on him and saying he's not ready, he's not strong enough. Then goes off for 27 and 12 on 64% shooting. Only had one assist, but he was the scoring machine and he didn't need to do anything else. What do you guys think of him?
Yeah, I think people were chatting way too bad right away. Like I had people like Mike and D in the chat. Oh yeah, I'm putting my bets on Chet to win Rookie of the Year. Like
I mean,
no, like he's gonna be raw. Like
I'm still putting my money on Chet. I'm going for like Chet. No, it's gonna be Chet. He's been here a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer.
I don't even necessarily think it won't be Chet, and not to make this topic about Chet because it's about Victor, but I don't necessarily think it won't be Chet. I think the NBA won't let it be Chet. Like the NBA has put so much into him, and like I think the NBA wanted the face of the NBA to be Ja Morant, and as the things with Ja Morant went on, obviously that's not the case, at least right now. So to save themselves, they made this big exposure of Victor, and this is how they're going to promote the NBA from now on and keep the NBA as the NBA. I mean, the NBA will always be the NBA, but to just, keep it up there as one of the top things, I think they're using Victor as that key piece. So I don't think they will let him lose Rookie of the Year, even if he didn't deserve it. Because we've seen that before. We've seen some people win it who didn't deserve it.
I don't know. I think back to like his first game, like yeah, he did. I mean, he had 5 blocks still, but he shot like 2 for 13. Like that's terrible. But I mean, he didn't feel comfortable, and I think that's the biggest thing. And then once he starts getting comfortable, like it's over. Like I think he's gonna. I honestly like he's gonna average upwards of 17 plus a game. You're easily gonna get 8+ rebounds a game, and then I guarantee it's gonna be 3 blocks a game, and he will probably be up for defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be insane. I mean, the rough start didn't phase me. Like, who do we all call the greatest basketball players of all time? Either Jordan or LeBron. Like, do we know how they did their very first games? Whether I don't think Summer League was there for Jordan, but like, how did they perform in their first games? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they probably weren't as hyped. LeBron was for sure, if not more hype. But it's like, you can't come on now.
Yeah.
One game, like he's not gonna be a bust. He's 7'5", 7'3", whatever the hell. He can dribble, he can shoot, he can do everything you need a good NBA player to do. And then he just have this unmatched height. So I was
Yeah,
never
definitely. And the media ran with the quote he had. It said, "I didn't really know what I was doing on the court, but I'm trying to learn." And I think they took that a little out of context. Changing from a league in France and where you're playing against a lot worse competition, and even the summer league, a lot better competition than you'd usually see. The games faster, and he's got to get acclimated to a whole new country that he never had been in before and lived in. And so just all those things going into it. And then you see what he does in his second game. I think there's a lot to be happy about if you're a Spurs fan. And you saw that when they spent millions of dollars on season tickets. And you see the guy at the NBA draft, the little like pullout thing, and he says, Spurs #1 pick. That dude jumped out of his seat. He knows how special of a talent Wembanyama is. And we're going to another very special talent, the second pick in the draft, Brandon Miller. Had a rough go so far in his summer
Oh,
league 2 games. He's 24 points in 2 games. He has 9 rebounds in 2 games, 10
yeah.
assists, and 13 fouls in 2 games. So not a lot that we've seen from him positive. But what do y'all think? Do you think he can turn it around, or do you think this is what you're going to get in Charlotte for his first season?
I think the first half of the season might be somewhat like this. Um, I think it's gonna be inefficient scoring, just like getting adjusted to the game. They said like his biggest flaw was his inconsistency at Alabama. We see this man go 7 for 9 from three, and then go one for like 15 in the tournament. But like he has that switch. We've seen it so many times with things like when he had his back against the wall when those police allegations were going on, and dropped 40 points the next day. We're after we see the switches there. The switch is there. I have faith in Brandon Miller. A lot of people don't have any faith in the man. I really like him. I think he should have went #2 instead of Scoot. I totally agree with the pick that the Hornets had. It's the best fit for Melo and that team for the future. And that boy's just a demon. You know how you get with the blicky, you feel him?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree.
know.
I agree. He should have went to, not because he's better than Scoot, but because it was the better fit for the team. 100%. Second thing is he's going to be just fine. First of all, he's playing on a summer league team with people he's not going to be playing with. Some of them, maybe a couple, but a lot of them no.
Nah, he's gonna be playing with
Doing-
them.
He's
He gonna
doing
be playing
things.
with them.
They have him doing things that he's not going to be doing. For example, like a lot of them turnovers are from him just the whole time, just pound, 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 trying to create. LaMelo is going to take care of all of that.
Yeah.
So he's not going to have to worry about having to pound. The thing, Alabama, he didn't do that Alabama either. He had Jelly JQ, and then he had the other little lefty guard who shoots really well. They did all the dominant ball handling, which opened up for him.
Score and go crazy.
Yeah, that made him just able to go downhill, catch and shoot, like do all of those things as a wing that got him drafted. They got him trying to do a lot of ball dominant stuff. Not that he can't dribble or distribute, but that's just not his game to do the whole game. Like, so
Not
I was
yet. Not yet. A
for
couple
sure, not yet.
couple
Because it's like Paul George. Paul
Like
George can do those
Jabari.
things now.
Remember Jabari
He can
last
do
year?
those things now, but he couldn't do those things early in his Pacers years. He was a 3-and-D guy, a slasher guy. Then his game evolved, which I think would happen for Brandon Miller.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I mean, even in those first couple games they played in Utah before the summer league, like he was still averaging like 8 fouls a game. Like it's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know. Like, who do y'all think is like his comp is like going into the league right now? Like
Paul George.
Y'all still think it's Paul
always say
George?
Paul George.
No, it's
We always
Paul
say Paul George.
George.
I'm thinking he like a 3-and-D kind of guy. Like this first year, like he's gonna be 3-and-D.
That was Paul George's
Paul
first.
George was 3-and-D at the Pacers for
That's what he got
6
drafted
years.
for.
He
he
went
got
the 10th pick. He was a 3-and-D guy. And then he went from 3-and-D to putting a rock on the floor, coming off ball screens from the wing, defending. Then he grew some inches, which made him able to defend in the post a little bit. That's kind of what evolved him into a superstar. Him growing and being able to play instead of 2 and 3 to being able to play. He went from being able to play the 2 and 3 to being able to play the 1 through 4.
I think he'll just be kind of like Jalen Williams, like on the Thunder. You know how he was his rookie year?
No,
Solid.
no,
Yes.
too.
coming out of college, Jalen Williams. Then no, I
Jalen
see
Williams,
it, but I don't. Not really.
Jalen Williams, who?
He's number 8.
From the Thunder.
He got like second rookie of the
Yeah,
second
J-Dub
voting
from
rookie of the
Clark.
year.
No, you trolling.
I think he has a higher ceiling. I think he has a much higher ceiling.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
but
he
I don't
is
know, bro.
PG
He hasn't shown
reincarnated.
much.
He PG reincarnated, blood. I'm telling you, he nice. Like at this, when George got drafted and Brandon Miller got drafted, like Brandon Miller is ways ahead of him, like in his developmental already. Like he can, when they have him doing the stuff that he's like he can't do, like really pass the ball, do all that crazy shit. That's why he's getting all those turnovers. But like he's taking up the ball with confidence, though. Like he's still like trying to hit a move. He's just trying to get to find his spots. That's like when you see him play, like you're seeing him like just make those mistakes, but like they're not bad mistakes. They're like, okay, he's trying to get a feel of the game.
I guess, yeah.
Like
It's summer league. It's summer league, so
Then he's
It's
gonna
summer
go.
league.
He's gonna grow through it, and then that's what summer league's there for. Get all out.
yeah.
In the training camp, you got a sense of what works and what doesn't, so you kind of block.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a good player. They were one of the best teams in college when Brandon Miller was on the team, and you saw when he didn't produce during the tournament, they were rough going, and then they get knocked out early. So we'll see what he does. We'll wait and see. Probably first 15 to 20 games, like you mentioned, probably going to be a little rough, but I think he'll turn it around and he'll be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year because he's just that talented. And then we're going to another guy that talent is up there as well, Keontae George. 29.5 points per game, 44% shooting, and he's second in the summer league right now in terms of assists per game. He's at 8.5, so he's doing everything. And Mike, I see you making some noises, but also you wanted to go to the Lakers. You wanted him on the LA Lake show.
I was sad when I saw that boy got drafted beforehand. I was so sad, and then we got that Shafina bum.
Not a bum.
He's
not
like
a bum.
bum. I'm sorry, he's a bum.
He's
He's
playing
not-
solid, bro.
Was that the Timberwolves pick? Was that the Timberwolves 13th overall pick?
That's what I was gonna say with the
Is that the
Keontae.
first one?
That's the first round pick. That the
Oh my
Timberwolves
God.
got from Rudy.
Like imagine.
I was thinking about that. Like, how would Keontae fit next to Anthony Edwards?
We probably wouldn't even have
Never gave
drafted
up that pick. Which they probably wouldn't have drafted him because you know the Timberwolves organization. They probably took who knows.
They probably would have drafted Shafino. You never know.
But no,
Which
I know
team
during
does-
draft night when we were all watching, Mike, when they drafted Keontae George and they showed his highlights, and Mike was going crazy saying he's a dog, and I was down on him. I didn't think he was all that, but these last summer league games, he's been going dumb, and I think Mike knew some.
He took the spot. He took the starting spot.
He's good for sure. And not only is he good, I think the way he plays his game, there's a couple people in college off the top of my head I could think of where if Keontae has success in the NBA, he will literally help those players that I'm thinking about in college draft stock. For example, Caleb Love. I think his game resembles Caleb Love's game a lot. And I feel that if Keontae George has success in the league, that will help Caleb's Love draft stock next year if he decides to go, which I'm sure he will. I think he's a senior.
Yeah.
I think it'll help his draft stock because teams will be looking for talent like that, which I think Caleb Love has. And I think their games are pretty similar as far as
Tommy Lloyd got
tough shot making, questionable decisions at times, but just being a big shot maker, playing hard, giving it your all, having that swagger on the floor, taller, bigger guard frame. I think all of those things come close to each other. So I think if Keontae George have a successful rookie year, that will help Caleb Love draft stock a lot.
Yeah, my major point is I think that's a good comparison, but also the fact that we're seeing Keontae do it on the biggest stage he's been in so far, and Caleb Love just had a rough year this year, and then 2 years ago as well. Like he had that one shining star year where he hit the shot over Deontae's team Duke to go to the national championship, but other than that, he was inconsistent at most of the time. And I don't think inconsistency was George's problem. I think injuries were. He missed a good portion of his last college season because of injury, and that stifled Baylor a little bit because they weren't getting that production from him at guard. But I
Yeah,
do
he was
think,
selling at the end of the year. That's why, like, end of year Baylor, I remember watching him. Like, he had some moments, but I remember Baylor fell off so hard, lost those 2 games back to back to Iowa State. Like, it was bad.
yeah. And so I just think he's going to have a great rookie season. I think it's a perfect team for him to flourish in. They got the bigs down. They made that trade. Now they got John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler in the front court. And that back court is going to be nice if they can get George to get on track and have a good rookie season.
I think he's gonna
Will
get
he
on
have to
track.
play point? Will he be playing point?
He'll be playing point.
I would
Yeah,
think so.
They got to figure out what they're doing with Colin Sexton too, whether
it's
he's
true.
staying or
They want
going.
to trade him.
I would keep George and Colin because first of all,
Can't keep bro, because then they got Clarkson. I mean, unless you
right,
have Keontae come off the
I would
bench.
get rid of Clarkson
He's
before
coming off the
Colin.
bench. You
I
can
would
take
get
Yeah,
rid of
he's cool
Clarkson
coming off
before
the bench.
What? You're gonna get rid of the 6th man of the year?
Jordan
No,
Clarkson.
Yes,
No.
over Colin Sexton.
you
I
put
think
you
I
start
would.
Clarkson.
Hold up. D. You just said you gonna get rid of the 6th man of the year.
When was he a couple years ago?
A couple
This
years
ye-
ago, he's still dropping over 15 points a game.
He's good, but I feel
Colin
like
Sexton not even doing that. He's not even on the court.
But-
He can't stay
I don't-
healthy. He can't stay
Mike,
healthy.
D,
That-
you think Jordan Clarkson's worse than Colin Sexton?
Colin
I don't
Sexton can't stay
necessarily
healthy.
think he's worse, but
Bro, it's
Jordan-
not even close.
Say
It's not even
healthy.
close.
Not even close is crazy.
Bro, no.
Bro,
it's
Jordan
not close
Clarkson is raw.
because Colin Sexton can't
He's
stay
good.
on the
Jordan
court.
Clarkson, he can score. He's good, but first of all, Colin Sexton is way better defensively. Jordan Clarkson,
When you can't stay on the court half the time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That defense is not
we
being
could-
played.
if we're gonna talk about injuries, we can sit here and talk about everybody who need to be shipped off. Then
That we could do that. We could do that. But Jordan Clarkson before Colin Sexton, crazy.
Yeah, Jordan
Hey,
Clarkson is nice.
but my main thing
you have
is,
to think of age. You have to think of age too.
He has Jordan
Yeah.
Clarkson's never been injured, never ever been injured all his NBA career. Colin Sexton has
He
been
ain't been
injured
that good as
every
an NBA
single
career. He
season.
just got good like a year or two ago.
No,
He
got
did
good.
just get good, Mike.
He
He did
No,
just
just
get
got
good.
good. He's been in the league for a while.
Oh my
He
God!
did just
He
get
got there
good.
4 years ago when he left.
He
When
did not
LeBron
4
left.
years. When?
LeBron left when he went to the Jazz. He was good ever since he joined the Jazz.
I wouldn't say no.
I would say these last 2 years.
No,
Oh,
he's
you're
starting to blossom.
trolling.
He's starting to blossom, and then he blossomed a lot more last year after they got rid of Donovan.
Uh-huh.
You don't
Bro.
see him like he just been for the past 4 or 5 years. He's been a consistent guard. That you
I'd
just
say 2 years he been good.
you don't do that.
Consistent role player.
Yeah.
I guess. One more question I had about Keontae George is how do you think he would have fit next to Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves if they would have hypothetically kept that pick and
Not
chosen?
good.
You
Not
don't
a good
think that would have looked good?
I think they're too similar. I think you
Hey,
got to fit Ant with like a passing guard, a pass
Who's
first
that?
guard, not a. I think Keontae was for first guard.
Mike Conley's a pass first guard next to Edwards. He averaged since
Oh,
that
yeah,
trade, he averaged like 4, 5,
yeah.
6.
Yeah, Cone. Yeah, Cone.
Here, Cone.
Yeah, Cone. He like Chris Paul, bro.
No, yeah, I think Mike is cool. Like he a good serviceable guard.
Oh,
No, I disagree. I think he needs
Corey
to.
Jones. He one of the Jones brothers.
I don't
That-
know, Andrew.
hey,
what do you
but
guys say?
getting back to the Jazz, like you guys were talking about it, like I mentioned the front court earlier, and then you guys are arguing, but those are 3 solid players that they're building their back court around as well, and they have that stockpile of draft picks. The Jazz and Danny Ainge are headed in a very good direction for a
Yeah.
franchise that just traded away their 2 best players, and they got as much as they could in return for them. Switching lanes now to underrated performer of the summer league. Everybody's got a guy that they think has been going a little bit unnoticed because of Wemby's crazy performance the second time, Brandon Miller's struggles, and Keontae George's amazing performance. And I'd throw in there that shot from Jabari Smith. I mean, that would be my underrated performer, but you can't really say underrated because he's leading in
Yeah, no,
scoring
you can't say that.
and he's doing everything for the Houston Rockets. So that's going to be a fun team to watch this year. Very young, very athletic, and they got Ime Udoka. Had that little scuffle in Boston, but now he's in
Yeah, they
he's
should
in
be
charge
smooth.
of a good young solid core that's getting ready to go. We'll go to D first. We got Amani Bates, who was the #1 player nationally coming out of high school. Scuffled a little bit at Memphis, then went to Eastern Michigan, scored a lot. Had that one crazy game where he scored, it was like 27 straight or something like that for his team. Didn't
29.
miss. And so we'll get into that, D. He's been doing some things for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, Imani was for sure my pick, without a doubt. I'll say that because, I mean, he was what, the 49th pick, second round?
Yeah, definitely a steal.
Averaging 16 and 6 and like half an assist or assist, whatever you want to call it. I picked him because, first off, he's playing with the good Cavs team. They're good all around. They have quite a bit of second and third year summer league players, which for him to be averaging 16 on a team with a bunch of second and third year players impressed me first because, usually when you go on a team with, team full of players, this is their second, third year, they're trying to get a roster spot. It could be hard to, get your touches and get your shots. But for him, as him being a 49th pick, he's just coming in, fitting right in, taking shots in rhythm. Obviously, he's known for gunning a little bit. I don't think he's been doing that too much at all. He's shooting what is he shooting, like 40, 44% or something like that? So not terrible, pretty efficient. Another reason I chose him is because he was like the 41st leading scorer in summer league, and I did my research, and every person ahead of him, the other 40 ahead of him, are either all were drafted ahead of him in the first round, or they're either second or third year players in summer league. So I'm like, okay, you have a top 41 scorer that you got at the 49th pick, which is not a risky pick at all. So for some teams, it's like almost a throwaway pick. If you get something, you get something. So I think for sure the Cavs got the steal of the draft with this pick. I think they should make the most of it. I think they should try to throw him out there in the fire early in the season, try to get him going, get him a feel for the game, get him stronger for sure. I think they get him stronger and get his confidence going. It'll be a long Rookie of the Year season. And I think he could end up in that third, fourth spot of Rookie of the Year voting.
Yeah, zero chance that happens because they got way too many dudes.
You said
That was a terrible take.
Who clears Imani besides Victor Wembanyama and maybe Scoot Henderson? I don't. Brandon Miller, I guess. Brandon Miller, but who clears him? Like, you look and you're like,
the Wolves' second round pick is better than him. Leonard Miller.
Leonard Miller?
Yes.
That's who my pick is. My pick
exactly.
is Leonard Miller. Bro, slipped to the second round. He was supposed to go first round. He averaged 17 points.
He's young.
Points in the G League last year with Scoot and 10 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, the dude's nice. And in the summer league, he's been putting up the same exact numbers he did in the G League. And dropped a 20-point game, I think yesterday or so. Dropped 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Like, super good game. Like, this, I think he has a better opportunity than just Imani, because all Imani's gonna do is gun. That's all they're gonna use him for on the Cavs, if he even gets to play.
Exactly. The Cavs just got Max Strus, George Niang,
and we've seen how that Mero dude's been hooping. That Mero dude might have Imani's position in that rotation.
Yeah, my main thing is the talent is definitely there for Imani. I just think the opportunity is just not there as much. And then you're talking about Leonard Miller.
He's on a good opportunist team. I mean, what the fuck? The Cavs got bounced in the first round. Like,
I think he's
out here. He's not like he's going to a team who's going for a 2-peat championship or something, or like they're trying to run it. They got bounced in the first round. They got embarrassed damn near by the Knicks. So it's like he's not going to a team who's like established and not looking for someone to come in and be a game changer. They have Donovan Mitchell, obviously, Darius Garland. Those are great players. They're still missing that one piece who can just come in, especially off the bench.
Like, yeah, my main thing is when he's been at his best, he's been the number one scorer, he's been the number one option. Like when he was at Eastern Michigan, he flourished. When he was in high school, he flourished. But when he was at Memphis and they had a solid team around him, it was a little bit of a struggle. So we'll see in the NBA where there's more chances with the 81 games for him to get acclimated and get ready. I think he'll be a solid piece to add to that team, but I don't know how he's going to get Rookie of the Year. I think he could be in the conversation come the end of the season, but I don't see him being a top 3 finisher.
He won't get it for sure. No one is going to get it but Victor.
I don't think he'll be in the top 3, top 4.
But I can definitely see him being in like 3rd, 4th voting.
Okay, so we talked about Miller, we talked about Bates. Now we get to one of the more like underappreciated is what I would say from most fans of Kentucky last year. No one even talked about him really. They were like I wouldn't say they were angry, but they weren't happy with the performance they got out of Case and Wallace. And then he comes in and drops 20 in his first game in the summer league, and he's a defensive player too. Like that was a great
Yeah.
game from him.
Yeah, so my guy for I picked on this, I took Casey Wallace just because, I mean, you can't, bro, you can't say much of it. He's only played one game in the summer league, so like there's not too much of it. But his first game he played, he literally got 20 points. Like what he shot, super efficient, and then like he had 5 threes in the first half. And the Thunder, they don't need a, and like Casey Wallace, like yeah, he was known for mostly his defense as a point guard. And then people were kind of skeptical about his shooting. Like they didn't know how well he was going to shoot the ball. But I mean, shit, he kind of proved a bunch of people wrong right away and shut a lot of people up.
He's baby
And
Drew
with
Holiday.
that,
He's
what you
baby
got,
Drew
Mike?
Holiday.
It's one game.
He's baby Drew Holiday. I'm
I
telling
just
you.
hope we all
Yeah,
realize
yeah, I think that's a great comparison, Drew
Baby
Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
I
one
think
game.
He's gonna but like here's the thing, like his upside was hustling, making decisions, like playing good defense. Those are his 3 upsides. Like that dude's gonna be in the league for a very long time.
yeah, like
He's gonna be in the league for a very long time.
and the Thunder, they don't like he can dribble the ball well enough. Like okay, you got
Not well enough.
Shy can dribble the ball, Giddy can dribble the ball, J-Dub can dribble the ball. Now you got Casey Wallace.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
definitely
think
think it's a
they're
perfect
just keep
fit.
stacking.
For type of player, I think it's a perfect fit for that young OKC team. But
Yeah.
then we'll get into our next topic, the in-season tournament the NBA just added. It'll be like a bunch of, I guess, regular season games they're throwing together into this tournament, and then some playoffs in Las Vegas. So we'll see how that turns out its first year. I just want to talk about the groups. There's a few of them where I'm just like, wow, that's going to be a tough group to get out of. In the West, they have West A, they have the Lakers, they have the Grizzlies, they have the Phoenix Suns, who are a super team at this point, and then they have the Blazers and the Jazz. So Blazers probably will finish bottom of that group. Most likely Dame's gone. But like, I think there's 4 solid teams there that are going to be given just, I don't know, it's going to be a dogfight there. And then the Knicks, Heat, and Bucks are all in the same group as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes its first season.
I really like how the NBA is doing this. To like, I feel like the NBA is like trying to start like new rivalries, like like start like that new like type of beef, like where like teams like, I'm looking forward to playing you like every single like week or so while we have like this group play, and just like start up that animosity early because it always starts in the playoffs. Someone's not liking someone, the memes come out, it gets the NBA buzzing and all that stuff. Like, and NBA just wants to create just more revenue for themselves. So I think this is like a really good idea, and I also think this is probably the best group there is, because I mean all those teams are toss-ups for who's going to win the championship this year. For the real deal thing.
Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna take the Lake Show out of it, because
For sure.
and the GOAT, a little slight some.
All right, so oh, you said something, D.
No, I was just gonna say I like the idea of the whole tournament layout and everything, and I'm looking at it on my paper here, but I know as far as a note, something I wrote down was what's the reward of it? Like what's gonna be the motivation of getting these players like up and ready to go and even to care about winning this tournament? It can't just be a big trophy cup. Like they're not gonna give a damn. Like it ain't the real.
There definitely should be
Buddy,
some
Well,
bonuses in there.
the main thing that I'd say though is that people are already resting games, and so my guess is they'll rest before those tournament games and then go into the tournament fresh like a regular season game, attack it like it. I think what time did they say it was, like middle of the year, something like that?
November 3rd is when
early
the games
December.
begin, and then I think the end of it is like December 9th.
Yeah,
It's in, like middle of December.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see it also, but like I just think that the first few years, like you said, not as many people are going to want it, but as it develops, like if you like, I'm a soccer fan, so I watch that. So like, there's cups, and then there's the championship for the league, and that's become a major thing where every team wants to win the cup as well. They just want a trophy during their season. So I think in the next few years we could see an underrated like team that goes and gets the 20th pick overall in the draft, or like the 15th pick. They're not like even competing for the championship, but they're winning that cup, and they have a successful season in their eyes because they won something. And it's like a rebuilding team, I would say. Could win a cup or something like that. And it's just like it's something for the fans, and it's something for just NBA fans in general to watch more I'd say better games, but like you'd hope that they'd be playing their hardest every game no matter what, but usually that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's solid. I think just also looking at it, like you really realize how bad the East is this year. Looking at it, like
Every
you look at these
every
teams
year.
and you just look at the East and it's like, damn, it's that much
Look,
worse.
yeah, look at our division, baby. Oh, I
Every
love the Celtics division.
every year.
It's the Nets, the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Magic. Like I don't see a
Yeah,
loss in there. I really don't.
it's crazy.
Like
Every
that's horrible. Like
Hey,
so
but
horrible.
then we're talking about horrible. It's a horrible cap situation in Phoenix.
Yeah,
They're 4 stars right now, $163 million for Ayton, Beal, Durant, and Booker, and that's over the salary cap already without even filling out their starting rotation, much less their entire roster. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on how you think that's going to pan out in Phoenix.
I
Uh,
think I
but
think it's going to be the same thing. You know, like none of these super teams have worked besides like Golden State era. Those none of
but
these
I
super
wouldn't
teams.
even call that a super team to be honest, because they were all it was their whole. It's just because they only added KD.
the
That
super team, dude.
still a super
They have
team.
5 all-stars on the floor.
They
Yeah,
have
but it
five
was
All
just
Stars.
KD they added. It's not like the Nets where they
But
added Kyrie Harden
it's
and
still a
KD.
super
It's
team.
still a
It's
super
still a
team.
super team.
It's still a
All right,
super team, regardless. You don't got to sign everybody for it to be a super team.
Don't try to give KD a pass right now. We're not
Like
here.
it's trying to get see, I'm
like
not gonna be giving KD a pass. I'm not doing that. KD is the sorriest superstar we've ever seen.
Okay,
goofy.
we're not gonna overbash KD either.
No, I think he's legit the least competitive, sorriest superstar we've ever seen. When it like you never see, the good guy or anything like that run away from the issue. He's ran away from every single issue. Every single issue that's blocked his path in his career, he's ran from and tried to figure it out. Bam, this doesn't work out. Nets didn't work out. Bam, goes to the Suns. Okay, that didn't work out. Let's go way over the salary cap, $160 million, not even filling out our roster.
People don't realize this. KD's probably at home just like us, sipping a cup of wine and get a notification to his phone. Phoenix Suns traded for Bradley Beal. Like I don't think KD's LeBron. I don't think he has as much power over what's
He
going
was
on in the
just,
front office as we.
everyone was trying to get Bradley Beal. Like that's just like false. And the Suns were the front runner. Like the Suns, who were already over like cap, were the front runner, and
But
D-Book and Brad Beal were in his ear.
Honestly, I
Like
think with the
your
Suns, like
superstars tell like your superstars tell you what they want. Like
low key, yeah, Mike's right. Mike's right.
Like your superstars tell you exactly what you want. That man, Brad Beal said, I want to get out of here. My top places are the Suns, Miami, and wherever else. As soon as the Heat and the Suns hear about it, oh, Jimmy went and texted him. Kyle Lowry went and texted him. Bam went and texted him.
right,
KD
that's
went and
recruiting.
texted him.
That's recruiting. That's fine.
Like,
That's a
so
part of sports.
that's exactly what just happened.
But
Yeah,
that's a
and
sports. It's not like he's like going to the front office door and is like,
You
we need
can't.
another superstar. It's not like he's
Yes, he
He's
definitely
not
did.
doing that. It's like the guy requested a trade. There's someone on the market. Oh, obviously we should go get him. It's not like he didn't request a trade and we're like, what's a superstar that's on a whack team that we can convince to come here? It's not like that. It's not like that.
It
I have
is.
to make it about
Make
it.
it
Nah,
so.
but
I'm sorry. Like it's just like it. It is what it is.
the Suns looking at the roster, like they got that 160 with them, like the new CBA rule, like you got to pay it. What is it, $1.50, Andrew? Right?
yeah,
Every dollar you go over.
it's going to be a lot of it's over 10 million, I believe, that they're
Yeah,
going to
for
be paying
sure for them.
it's a hefty price, but it's also like once that kicks in the CBA, it's going to be draft picks, it's going to be other things that
Mm-hmm.
you can't afford as a franchise if you're going to be not even just long term, just trying to build what they call a dynasty. So it's like it's going to be
Yeah.
it's a fine line to walk if you're going to be putting that much money into a roster. And we'll see with what happens with Aiton, but a superstar we're not going to have to see what happens with is Kyrie Irving. He re-signed with the Dallas Mavericks, and now it's Luke and him back together. And we saw them miss the playoffs this year, very disappointing, but it's also they tanked because they wanted that pick to stay theirs, and it actually ended up working. They only lost, what was it, $250,000? Like that's
They
pocket change
and
to
the
them.
guy
Like
they
So
got helps them
it was
out
like
so
700.
much.
It was like 700K, but that ain't. I think Mark Cuban like
He
paid that
paid
and
for it.
then donated the same amount to a charity to like to blow an NBA like a kiss or something for the fine.
Yeah, and that's what most of the players do at this point. It's the funniest thing is where fans try to donate the money to, and it's like, bro, they're billion-dollar owners. They don't need your help. They can just put that money down on anything they want, and they're chilling. Because
Right.
Shark Tank ain't going nowhere. That man making billions upon billions.
But the Kyrie move, I like it a lot. I think it's a great move because first of all, I think the Mavs showed him that they're willing to take some risk to try to build a championship team. I think they showed that to him when they traded for him because they're trading for someone who, in like a month or two, is going to be a free agent. Who they're giving up. They gave up some important pieces: Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, two of their best defenders, two
Yeah.
role players. They gave up that to bring someone, like I said, who could potentially walk in 2 months. So they showed that they're willing to take risk to get the players to build a championship team. Also, you're playing next to Luka Doncic, who's an all-time great. I mean, he's a superstar. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Luka definitely gonna come in the best shape of his life. Like he's gonna be going crazy this year. I think he's gonna win MVP. That's my pick, honestly. I think Mike, don't be doing all that. Don't be doing that, Mike. You'll see, bro. Like they Kyrie. Like now they kind of like it's tough with a dude like him coming in like not really knowing how he plays, how to play off each other. Like especially those two. Like they both need a ball, but now I think just like more work together, like a training camp together, like they'll just get
it,
more comfortable with each other.
it worked out for sure. I think it was a great move for him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he got paid again. He's been paid before, so it's not like he's at a point in his career where like he's looking for that big contract. He's had that before. He has money. He got some more money, obviously. And then the contract was probably structured exactly how he wanted it. Player option, I believe, on that third year. So that's probably good for him. So wherever the team resides, then he can make his choice. I
And
think, go ahead, McKay.
oh yeah, but you also like look at the roster, like who they signed, like they need a defense. They got Grant Williams, like a solid guy who can kind of basically guard 1 through 5. And then they also got Seth Curry, like another just shooter that they kind of needed. So I just think, and then Jalen Hardy, like he's coming up, he's rising star. I think like
That's
they're
me.
going to be tough this year.
That's my.
Derek,
Is that our pick for most improved, or is it too soon?
no chance. He don't have the best opportunity, I don't think, to get that.
I don't think so. No, not with Kyrie and Luca. No, I
Yeah,
think
but like when Luka and Kyrie don't play, like he goes off.
Like
That's too-
Loki, like if you think about like the most improved players, like they like elevated, like their teams like got elevated that season. I don't know. He's gonna be the number one off the bench.
yeah,
He's-
Most improved player is
Like,
definitely going to be Jordan Poole. Like plain and simple.
He
Could
already
be.
won. He already won most improved. I
no,
think.
he didn't. They
No,
gave
no,
to
he didn't. No, he didn't.
They gave to John Morant the year he should have got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
gave it to
Desmond
Ja
Bain
Morant.
should have got it that year, I think.
No, John Morant. No,
But
Jordan.
they won't give it to Jordan Poole. Everyone like knows that Jordan Poole really should have won that award.
He should have won it that year. Ja
Yeah,
was a
everyone knows that.
MVP candidate, like the third in voting. Like he should have been a second or third MVP candidate. That's what he should have been. He shouldn't have won it, but he shouldn't have got it most improved.
Right now, the odds for the most improved player right now, the person with the best odds right now is Mikal Bridges, which makes sense, you know.
I think he could be all-star. I think
But then second's Tyrese Maxey and then
should.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, and that's not crazy to say as an all-star because they're thinking about when they were trying to trade, what was it, Anthony Simons in a first-round pick and like a bunch of other stuff, like they
Yeah.
rejected
Oh, yeah.
immediately. So that's how they know like how good Mikal Bridges is. And
I think
so
they're crazy for that.
I think that it's going to be an interesting situation with the Blazers, what they do with Dame, but also we got to get into another topic that everybody's on board with. We're weeks away from the start of the NFL season, and
Sir.
we got training camp starting the 18th for some rookies, and we all gave our favorite rookie out of the draft class, or some of our favorite rookies and why. And mine is Bijan Robinson simply because of the opportunity. It's just it's a wealth of opportunity for him. He has everything ahead of him, looking like a passing offense to him most likely because it's to him and Pitts, and then I guess London could have a good year, but they weren't giving him as much volume as you'd like to see from a wide receiver in his first year. But Bijan Robinson, electric athlete at Texas, did everything you could ever want. I think injuries, because that could just hinder him because he's going to be utilized so much in that offense, and it's going to be like the same thing. They're going to run him into the ground like most running heavy teams do. They ran the ball the most last year, the Atlanta Falcons, and we'll see what happens there.
They did?
Yeah, they were the most.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
was
they
an
only
interesting.
ran the ball. They only ran it.
Well, they had Desmond Ritter for a few games, so that was a little
Yeah,
tough
he
for
can't
them.
pass.
Tyler Algier, dude, I believe his name
Yeah,
is.
he's
Yeah,
rolling.
Algier was very good, and then they had that. I think it was Mike Davis last year too. Like they had a bunch of like,
Three running backs rotate. They just run.
But
yeah,
then they also the Cordell Patterson was there. He was
yeah,
going
Patterson. There
crazy.
you go.
I think
Dude,
Patterson's still there, right? Patterson's
Yes,
still
know.
there.
I
That's
think they
what I
signed
mean,
him
like-
again.
I think Bijan. I think like like the Falcons are like trying to like really prep for the future. They have three solid RBs on their roster.
Yeah.
All can catch the ball, all can run pretty good. Like I think Bijan won't be taking a crazy beating this year. I think they're gonna try to squeeze his last year out of Cordell for his last year of his contract. Put Bijan in, but still keep Algier as their number 3 for when they don't have Cordell next year. Just like get Bijan up and going. That's all he needs. Like I feel like they just need to squeeze whatever's left out of Cordell. And I definitely see what you mean if they do that.
Okay, we'll get to Deontez. You had Christian Gonzalez, a guy I thought fell a lot for where he's going
He fell.
pre-draft. He was top 10 in most of those mock drafts. Goes all the way down. I think it was 16 or 17. I think it was 17 to the Patriots. Just a lockdown corner from Oregon. We'll see what he does in his first year, but you had something to say about him.
Yeah, I took him as my favorite pick because, like I said, he slipped a lot. He's a big corner. Like he's a good sized corner. He has good feet. He's not like a big slow corner. He has good feet. It fits well with his size. But I really think the Patriots just did. They drafted best available because I think they for sure could use a receiver. Was that Juju? Was that Juju contract? Was that in place before the draft? Do you guys know?
It was.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of days of free agency.
Hey,
so
you got Devontae Parker back too.
I'm gonna be trash. But I think the Juju signing helped them make the decision a little bit in the draft of like, are we gonna go receiver? Because Jordan Addison was available, which I think is really good, and I think the Patriots could use someone like him a lot. But I think they just wanted to go best.
Every single receiver was available at that point.
All the good receivers were available, but I think they were just like,
That's available.
it's still available, and like he should have been taken, which I think we all can agree on that. So they're like, we're gonna go best available, and plus they're good at developing corners. Stephon Gilmore, another good one, Jack
J.C.
Jones
Jackson as well. Yeah.
good. Like they're good at developing DB, so they probably thought we can, we got another superstar here in the making. So not a bad pick at all. I like it.
I think he's gonna be really good. I think he's
Mike,
gonna be, yeah.
Mike, who was your underrated dude? Who do you like coming out of the draft?
You got 3, so we're gonna be interested. You got the floor, Mike.
3.
Let's hear it.
I got 3. All right, to start off, I'm starting off with Tank Dell. I'm a big Ohio State fan. Y'all know. And CJ Stroud got drafted 2nd overall to the Texans. And I think Tank Dell is going to be that next good wide receiver that we're going to be talking about. He led all of the FBS, all of college, and receiving yards with almost 1,400 yards. He had 1,398 yards, so almost 1,400 yards. He had 17 touchdowns in 2022 and 12 touchdowns in 2021. Like he's a touchdown machine. He can do everything short, medium, deep. Like he just finds his way open. I think like his player comp, he has like Kadarius Toney like type twitchiness, but with like a Terry McLaurin type like build. The way he plays the game, like he reminds me a lot of Terry McLaurin, and he's just like a little fast, twitchy guy. Like, and he scores a lot, and that's what the Texans are going to need. CJ needs that number 1, and he's going to be leading that Texans offense with John Mechie, Brevin Jordan, Damian Pierce, and CJ Stroud. And I really think they have a shot at being a dark horse team to make the playoffs next year.
Mike, bro, stop. They're not making no playoffs, bro.
I think they can sneak into the playoffs. Like that roster's not as bad as everyone thinks. Like Jalen Petrie last year had 5 picks, rookie year. Derek Stingley, they had him playing in the bad system, but now they get a strictly defensive coach. That defense is going to be taken care of in the next couple years.
Tank Dell's also 5'8". Like he's tiny.
So is Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is like the best man on down.
Yeah, Mike. Hey, we'll see though. Who else you got on there? Tank Dell? Who else?
Just finally had a good season.
Yeah, I think, but he just couldn't stay healthy. But I think
he didn't have a good season. He had a good playoff run.
That's all that matters. You get to the mook at the end of the day, you know?
But then, how many Texans players you gonna draft on your fantasy team since they might make the playoffs?
I might
0.
I'm not trying to get Tank.
He gonna have 0.
I got Kalijah Cansey from out of Pitt. Baby Aaron Donald. I swear to God. Baby Aaron.
Like,
Oh, like he's same stature, 6 foot, about like 280. And dude, like the dude's legit. Like he's the only D lineman in the top 10 of sacks and back-to-back years, 2021, 2022. He went to where'd he go? He went to the Bucks, the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles is their coach. He's gonna be right next to Vita Vea as their pass rusher. He's gonna be put in pass rusher sets. He had 7 sacks both years in college. He's and he's the best pure DT. I think he's the second coming to Aaron Donald. Like I was watching tape on this dude throughout the season. Like this dude's unguardable. Like they're throwing everything they got at him. And my last player, super sneaky player out of Utah, was busting our ass at my school. Sneaky fantasy tight end, that Don Kincaid from the Packers.
yeah, raw.
Kincaid. He is nice. Single-handedly was Utah's whole offense damn near. Had almost 900 yards, receiving 9 touchdowns. Like, and Jordan Love, I think, is going to be really relying on the short game. So if you're really looking for a fantasy tight end, I think, and they're saying he's doing really good at camp. I think Don Kincaid is my last pick. So I took some 3 sleepers, but
But hey, Dalton Kincaid, he's on the Bills, just so you know.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be tough.
no, I'm talking about the Packers. Don Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid ain't on the Packers.
Yeah,
He's on the Packers.
You know he's on the Bills. My boy, he got drafted. He's in Buffalo.
he's in
Yeah.
Buffalo.
There's a different tight end that got drafted to the Packers.
I swear it's Kincaid.
No,
Nah.
Kincaid's on the Bills.
Kincaid got drafted by the Bills. But what I was gonna say for Dalton Kincaid, he played with the same style quarterback in college as who's he gonna like. One Rising was that head down run into the defense, like rushing yards and lofted over the top like they were doing with Knox earlier. And I think it's just a perfect system for him to go into in his first season, especially on a contending team with good wide receivers.
The Bills took a tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, first round.
They're not messing with Knox.
That's
No.
what I took away from it.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Or they just don't want to pay the man.
Yeah, that's probably it.
true.
Like that's probably what's gonna go on.
True.
Yeah, but for me, I had to go with my first. Talking about tight ends, on part of my take podcast, I was listening to it. George Kittle was talking about Sam Laporta different. The Lions drafted him, I think, second round or
Nice.
second round just before Michael Myers. Everyone was like, "Whoa!" Thought it was a huge surprise because but Sam Laporta, George Kittle said he was working out with him and said he moved different. So
he looked like he moved different. He taking tight end screens in college.
yeah,
Like that boy moved different.
He also got that TJ Hawkinson number too, 87.
So yeah, I think that was a great pick for the Lions. Sneaky pick that, and then also another tight end going to Pitt, Darnell Washington. That boy gonna be raw.
Why?
He-
You got Firemouth.
Huh?
Like, what does he need it for? Y'all got Firemouth.
I know, but 2 tight end set, 2 wide receiver. Boom. How you stopping that? We got 6 O linemen, tight end. Like Darnell Washington is 6'8", Mike. Like, come on.
I know he a dog. No, he's huge.
I know. So like, I don't know. I think you can just. I don't really know how he's gonna do. I hope we got the next Gronk, but we'll see. And then my last dude, Emmanuel Forbes, DB, went before Christian Gonzalez, and everyone kind of was surprised about it. Emmanuel Forbes, he went in OTAs. Washington was saying he already solidified it himself as the number 1 DB they got, and their defense is already pretty nice. So I think they're looking good, and it was a good pick for them. So
Yeah, and speaking of great defenses, we got the Philadelphia Eagles took 2 guys in the first round from Georgia off that great Georgia defense. They got Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. And Jalen Carter fell a little bit, those incidents off the field, but still one of the top players in this draft. Could have went 1 or 2 had that not happened. But they got themselves a great player in Jalen Carter, wrecks games on that defensive line. You're putting him next to, who was that one dude again? They just drafted another dude, Jordan Davis. Like
Yep.
that defensive line with Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick is going to be insane.
That team is OP.
Yeah, that team is ridiculous.
If they don't win the chip next year, like, oh my God. Like, bro, they upgraded so much. Like, they didn't lose anybody. They retained
I
legit.
I
They
honestly
lost
think
Gardner Johnson, but he's
yeah.
replaceable.
I think honestly
And
like
Miles
no
Sanders too. Sanders.
But they got
Yeah.
Swift. I got more faith than
They got
Swift.
Swift. I think I got more space than Swift too. Swift is really good. He just
I
gets
like
through.
I like Swift.
He gets through those injuries. He's gonna be around for I think
No, but I think that with like getting Nolan Smith, I think that was a bigger steal than Jalen Carter just because I mean, because people don't really know. Like, I honestly think because he didn't play much in his last season, like he rarely played. He got hurt early, and I honestly think if he played, he would have been top 3 pick for sure, just because of how athletic and how fast he is. Like, I honestly think that was the biggest steal of the draft. Just he just everyone has been saying at camp how much he loves football, how much he loves the work, and they're just saying that dude is crazy in the weight room and just on the field. And so I think that was bigger steal than Jalen Carter.
Yeah, we got 2 topics left. We got Lamar Jackson signing the biggest deal in NFL history in terms of money per year and guaranteed money. 5 years, $260 million, 52 mil a season. And that saga is finally over. Ravens fans can relax. They have their quarterback for the future.
yeah. But
I really like that signing. I think Lamar honestly is like I feel like he's so disrespected. Like you talk to like any casual person, like they're just like you oh no, he gets hurt too much. Like he needs to stop running, he needs to stay in the pocket. He can't throw. I'm like, bro, he led the league like his MVP year in passing touchdowns, and like was top 5 in passing yards. Like the dude could throw and still had no wide receiver help whatsoever. And now since they got OBJ. Hopefully Bateman comes back and like proves us something as Minnesota Gophers fans, at least proves us a little something. Um
Flowers.
who else?
Zay Flowers.
Flowers.
Zay Flowers, like Zay Flowers was low key. I almost threw him on this list too. Like he reminds me of Steve Smith, like just a faster Steve Smith. And like he has the weapons this year, and hopefully like they could stay healthy because their training. I mean, their training facilities are horrible. Like they were rated like an F- with like their training staff and all that stuff. And I think they replaced them. So hopefully they can stay healthy. I think the Ravens and the toughest division in football could be the number one. I think
I, I wouldn't go there. I think the toughest division has Pat Mahomes, Herbert, and Jimmy
No
Garoppolo
chance.
and Russell Wilson. That's
No
definitely the
chance.
toughest division.
AFC North is definitely the toughest.
It's
Who's
AFC North or the one with the Bills, Pats, Jets, and Dolphins.
I
It's
guess.
either
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I would probably give it to that division too, but I don't think I don't think the Ravens come out on top because
because the Steelers are in there.
I think Joe Burrow and those Bengals.
I don't know. But the thing is,
I
yeah, I
think
don't know.
I think they're too much, but not to get off topic on the Lamar thing. I think they got better this offseason for sure. They wrapped up the Lamar contract talks. I think he took less money guaranteed than he wanted to, but I think he just came to the realization that still it's a shit ton of money, and it's like, man, as you can see, they're not going to give you more guaranteed, but I think he's worth every bit, every penny from that contract. I think he's going to make it well worth it, and I think the Ravens adding the additions that they added helped him take less money guaranteed than he wanted to. Adding Odell, drafting Zay Flowers. Good thing they didn't pull the Packers. And in a wide receiver crisis, they didn't go draft a quarterback who's not going to be ready for 3 years. So good thing they didn't do that. I think that helped them a lot. The defense is always good. They live, breathe defense. They're always going to have a good defense. So I think
Yeah.
they may, but I got the Bengals for sure.
Yeah, and talking about good defenses, the teams that live and breathe them, that's the New Orleans Saints to a T, and they got their quarterback that they were struggling for so long, going through Winston, Dalton, and all those rental quarterbacks. They finally got Derek Carr signed to a big deal, and they got Olave coming into his second season. They got Kamara still there. They added Jamal Williams too, which was a surprise, leaving the Lions, he was the heart and soul of that team. And then you gotta hope that Michael Thomas can give you something, but that offensive line's still one of the best there is with Ramczyk, and just that throughout that offensive line, they've been good for years now.
I think
Yeah.
I think the Saints, and because that that might be the most crucial division, like just like horrible to watch football. Like that might be that division. And they they should finish on top of the division. Clear number one like they should be clear.
Yeah, it's not even close. That
Like,
division is so bad.
yeah, they should be clearing teams. But I don't know. Derek Carr, I don't know if it's because he was on my fantasy team last year, but I think he's gonna do Derek Carr things and just find a way and just to sell the season, honestly. Because Michael Thomas, my man's ankle's gonna be busted up by the week 2 of training camp. Like it's cooked.
What you think, McCabe?
Nah. I think the Saints, like, they're gonna be. I honestly think the Saints will be smooth. Like, you got 6 games against some trash teams. I mean, the Panthers, I think, are decent, but I mean, the Falcons, I don't think they're nothing. And then you still got the Buccaneers in there who are just in shambles now. But the Saints, you got Olave coming back. He's about to be nice, I think. Like, great fantasy receiver. I think. I mean, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas coming back, but I don't think he's really gonna take much away from Olave. Like, I really think Olave and Carr are gonna build a nice connection. But honestly, I really don't know what's gonna happen with Kamara. Like, if he's gonna get suspended through that whole situation that happened in Vegas. I don't know. But you got Jamal. They signed Jamal.
Didn't he play the full last season without any?
Yeah, but I think he plead today. He took the plea deal in his case with
Oh yeah.
about that Vegas thing literally today. Like
But they
so.
signed Jamal Williams, and then they also got the running back from TCU, so they should be smooth.
What was the plea? Did he, like, pay him more?
I think he pled. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know for sure, but I don't know how much time we'll see in the next coming days, how many games or if it is any games at all that he gets in suspension. Probably, I don't think it'll be a full season in any sense of the imagination, but it is an interesting situation to look into, and that's gonna probably do it for our first episode of Beyond the Scoreboard. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was very fun, great recording session with the boys, and we'll see y'all next time.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in.